Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtiprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, Remembrance of Lord Krishna, text number 27. Parito vatspar vatsansha charyan vyaharad vibhu yamno pavane kujat dvij sankulitangri dvij sankula sankulitangri pre angri pe. In his childhood, the Almighty Lord was surrounded by cowherd boys and calves, and thus he traveled on the shore of the Yamuna River, through gardens densely covered with trees and filled with vibrations of chirping birds. Nanda Maharaj was a landholder for King Kansa, but because by caste he was a Vaishya, a member of the mercantile and agricultural community, he maintained thousands of cows. So actually it is said that Nanda Baba had 9 lakh cows, 900,000 cows he had. And similarly, his brothers and other gopas in Braj, they had different number of cows. It's a duty of the Vaishyas to give protection to the cows, just as the Kshatriyas are to give protection to the human beings. Because the Lord was a child, he was put in charge of the calves with his cowherd boy friends. These cowherd boys were great rishis and yogis in the previous births, and after many such pious births, they gained the association of the Lord and could play with him on equal terms. Such cowherd boys never cared to know who Krishna was, but they played with him as a most intimate and lovable friend. They were so fond of the Lord that at night they would only think of the next morning when they would be able to meet the Lord and go together to the forest for cow herding. So look at what Prabhupada is saying. These cowherd boys, of course, not all of them. Some are his eternal associates. They come from Golok Vrindavan with Krishna. But some of them were great rishis and yogis, and after many such pious births, I mean, there were great rishis and yogis in the previous births, and after many such pious births, they gained the association of the Lord and could play with him on equal terms. So first of all, it's not easy to get the association of the Lord. And even as cowherd boy, it's cowherd boy, it's not that easy. So great rishis and yogis, they had to do pious activities of this tapasya for many, many births before Krishna would allow them. And when they come, see, great rishis and yogis, what would they do? They would meditate on the Lord. They would do their services, whichever way. But when they're meditating, they would think or meditate on the Lord as the Supreme Personality of Godhead or Paramatma feature. And when they come to the position of cowherd boys, Prabhupada said, thus such cowherd boys never care to know who Krishna was. They never care to know who is the Supreme Personality of God. But they played with him as the most intimate and lovable friends. And sometimes it would happen that it would always be that Krishna and Balram would be in opposite teams. Because if they both were together in the same team, then, well, if the Supreme Personality of Godhead is on the one team and others will not win. So they both would be on opposite teams. So sometimes it would happen that the team led by Balramji would win and Krishna's team would lose. And the condition would be that the Krishna's team had to carry the Balram's teams, one member each, to certain distance, so say from here to maybe 100 meters or so, on their backs. And then Krishna would carry his cowherd friends, cowherd boyfriends on his back. That was the deal. And he would carry. And if he wouldn't, if he did some cheating, then they wouldn't let him play next time. So this used to be every day. They used to play this different games. Bhagavatam describes some of the games. Sometimes they would just act as peacocks. Sometimes they would just act as monkeys and jump from one place to another. And sometimes they would do some other games. Sometimes they would, I mean, there were not a single game in the world today or in the whole universe forever that they never played in Vrindavan. Because here, material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So whatever variety we see here, spiritual world has multifarious varieties in this. So similarly, the sports, cricket, football, whatever you can think of, they would play over there. Wrestling, of course, the wrestling or any sport would be there just to give pleasure to Krishna. Because Krishna would also get pleasure by him losing to his friends. That's a different story. But the idea was not to have such a big competition that anybody become envious of anybody else. But the part was just to enjoy it together and have a good time. They were so fond of the Lord that at night they would only think of the next morning when they would be able to meet the Lord and go together to the forest for cowherding. And it would be sometimes it would be so that at night they would be sleeping and, and very soon they would get up, all of them, and they would come to Nanda Baba's house. Oh, Krishna, Krishna, get up, we have to go, it's getting late. It would be like in the middle of the night or very early morning. And then Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, oh, let him sleep. He just slept. You don't let him take proper rest. And boys are boys, they won't listen to anybody. And actually, what happens is, in the middle of the night, after Krishna would come back from the forest and he would have dinner, and Mother Yashoda would put him to bed. But now is a time for gopis. In the daytime, they would meet at Govardhan, but not for too long because the cowherd boyfriends are around, except the intimate, the real intimate ones. They would be with Krishna even when Krishna would meet the gopis. But in the middle of the night, now it's a time for the gopis. So Krishna, when Yashoda Maya would think that he is sleeping, he would sneak out from the back door and then he would go to the banks of Yamuna, and now he would give time to the gopis. And he'd come back early morning and he would hardly sleep. And when the cowherd boys would come, Krishna, Krishna, let's go. We are late. Cow herding. So this is what he does. Whole day, every day. Taking care of his devotees' desires to please his devotees. And devotees are there to please him. The forest on the shore of the Yamuna are all beautiful gardens, full of trees of mango, jackfruit, apples, guava, oranges, grapes, berries, palm fruit, and so many other plants and fragrant flowers. See, this is the beauty of Vrindavan. Normally, if we have in any part of earth, if we have apple trees, there won't be mango trees in the same area because both need, I would say, different kind of soil and different seasons to give those kind of fruits. But the shores of Yamuna, they would have everything: mango, jackfruit, apples, guava, oranges, grapes, berries, palm fruit, and so many other plants and fragrant flowers. That is Vrindavan. Every tree is a desire tree over there. In fact, every tree is capable of giving every kind of fruit because it's a desire tree. But just to have let the tree also serve Krishna, they sometimes they would like to have different kind of fruits. And because the forest was on the bank of the Yamuna, Naturally, there were ducks, cranes, and peacocks on the branches of the trees. All these trees and birds and beasts are pious living entities born in the transcendental abode of Vrindavan just to give pleasure to the Lord and his eternal associates, the cowherd boys. So look at how Prabhupada is describing. All these trees and birds and beasts were pious living entities. So even among birds and beasts, there is no enmity in spiritual world. There would be beasts. So beasts are there, and lions and tigers and bears, and so are the deers and the cows and the horses, all kinds of beasts, and there would be many more which we have never seen or even heard of in the material world. But there wouldn't be any animosity between them. The idea is for all of them to serve Krishna. And like Prabhupada said, they're there just to give pleasure to the Lord and his eternal associates, the cowherd boys. That is spiritual world. Material world, everybody is here to think of I, me, and mine. That's it. Spiritual world, everybody is there to serve Krishna and his associates. Even the boys would take care of these animals and birds and trees and insects, and that they would take care of boys. Just like in Vrindavan, we hear the story of Kalia, how Krishna jumped in that Kalia there and he chastised Kalia and then he ordered him to leave Vrindavan and go away. So in Gokul, spiritual world, also there is Kalia. Golok Vrindavan, there is Kalia. But the Kalia there is in Yamuna just to serve Krishna and his boyfriends. So sometimes they would jump on Kalias because he has thousands of hoods, so they would jump on his hoods, and Krishna would put a rope through the nose of Kalia, and they would ride on Kalia, and Kalia would take them on the ride in Yamuna, and they would enjoy it. That is Vrindavan. While playing like a small child with his associates, the Lord killed many demons, including Aghasur, Bakasur, Pralambasur, and Gardavasur, or Dhenukasur. Although he appeared at Vrindavan just as a boy, he was actually like the covered flames of a fire. As a small particle of fire can kindle a great fire with fuel, so the Lord killed all these great demons, beginning from his babyhood in the house of Nand Maharaj. The land of Vrindavan, the Lord's childhood playground, still remains today, and anyone who visits these places enjoys the same transcendental bliss, although Lord is not physically visible to our imperfect eyes. So whenever we go to Vrindavan, we visit these places, like when we do parikrama, say Govardhan or Nandagaon, Barsana, or Vrindavan parikrama, or other places, interior places we can go to. And all those spots are there where Krishna did so many pastimes, whether he killed these asuras or he performed pastimes with his cowherd boyfriends or the gopis. And one can visit those places and enjoy the same bliss and understanding, oh, this is what he did here, this is what he did there. And we can relive those pastimes. And like Prabhupada saying, although the Lord is not physically visible to our imperfect eyes, so our eyes are imperfect. The Leelas are eternal. They're always going on. This instruction is taken up especially by the followers of Lord Chaitanya, known as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because the land is identical with the Lord. Devotees like Uddhav and Vidura visited these places 5,000 years ago in order to have direct contact with the Lord, visible or not visible. Thousands of devotees of the Lord are still wandering in these sacred places of Vrindavan, and all of them are preparing themselves to go back to Godhead. So this is the beauty of Vrindavan, Prabhupada. Thousands of devotees of the Lord are still wandering in these sacred places of Vrindavan. And Krishna, and depending upon our heart, Srimati Radharani, they're still giving darshan, they're still taking care of all the devotees who go to Braj. Of course, sometimes they take care of them personally or physically themselves. Sometimes they change the form and come and take care of. Sometimes their associates will come and take care. But anybody or everybody who gets an opportunity to enter Braj, that cannot happen, first of all, without the mercy of Radharani. And once we enter Braj, they take care of us. Now, we might not have the proper consciousness. We might be offensive in mentality when we enter Braj. Or we could be offensive towards Braj or towards the Brajvasis. And then, obviously, Krishna's other servants will come and take care of us and make sure that we live Braj. And those who go to Braj, Vrindavan, especially Vrindavan, and who don't like to give donations to the temples there, then Krishna sends his very special associates, which are the monkeys. They'll come and they'll take your glasses or take a purse or something from you, and then you go away, they run away. And then you have to give some donation to them to get your stuff back. They're the special associates of Krishna. But anyway, whenever we go to Braj or any dham, Braj, Jagannath Puri, Ayodhya, Dwarka, or any other dham, we have to be very careful, very, very careful. First of all, not to commit offenses, even in our mind towards a dham, towards the Brajvasis. Of course, one has to be very careful when they're there so you don't get cheated. But even if we get cheated by Brajvasis, just think it is Krishna who's taken care of some of our, or lots of our sinful activities. So any trouble one goes through while in Braj or Dham, or any setback one has, just understand Krishna has taken care of lots of our sinful activities. Because nothing can happen to a person without the permission of Krishna and Braj. And then our mood should always be to serve. If not physically, if not financially, at least serve the holy name. Chant the holy name. And do not be offensive. Do not go there with the enjoying spirit. I'm here. I'm gonna enjoy myself. Of course, we should enjoy the holy name and enjoy being in the Braj, but not in the real mood of enjoyment that we have outside Braj. Mood should be of service. Mood should be of tapasya. Mood should be of, let me chant as many rounds. Just sit in a place and chant. Or take association of sadhus. There's so many sadhus, so many devotees. And they can give wonderful instructions. So many times people say, oh, we just meet, or we met some cheaters. Well, whatever is in our heart, the desire will be magnified in Braj, and then we'll meet that kind of person only. But if our heart is clean, our heart is really yearning for real sadhus, association, even in Braj, Krishna will make sure that we meet a real sadhu. He will send a real sadhu to us. And sadhu doesn't always mean one with a long beard and wearing saffron dhoti kurta. It could be just maybe a small boy or a girl or whatever. It's up to Krishna to decide. But our mood should be of service. You see, so many things that Prabhupada has written here. There are so many trees, and look at the word that Uddhavji used for the tree. He says, Angripe. He didn't say just vrikshas. The Angripe. Now what's Angripe? Angri means the feet. Pe means drinking. So of course trees anywhere would drink from their feet from the roots. They drink water and it goes to the branches, goes to the fruits and flowers of the trees, and it nourishes the whole tree. But there's a difference in the trees of Vrindavan. They're also Angripe, obviously, they are going to drink from the lotus feet. But what do they drink? They drink the water of Yamuna, which is sanctified more by Krishna playing in that water with either with his gopis or the cowherd boyfriends. He would play in that water. And that water which contains the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna and his associates, that water is drunk, or that Charnamrit is taken by the trees. Of course, the trees also not ordinary trees, they are sadhus and rishis and yogis and devotees who now got the opportunity to stand as free in Golok Vrindavan. And they are drinking this Charnamrit of Krishna and Krishna's associates. So what kind of ecstasy they must be in? And in that ecstasy, they are giving, they're providing different kind of fruits and flowers for Krishna's service of Krishna's associates, service of Krishna's monkeys or animals or birds. So they can eat those fruits and flowers and be fully satisfied. And then how all these will serve Krishna when they are fully satisfied. Of course, their satisfaction also lies in their service to Krishna. So before eating themselves, they would offer it to Krishna. And Krishna is tasting those fruit. And he is in return giving it back to his friends or monkeys or others. So we can just imagine. In fact, we cannot even imagine the mood of Vrindavan, the mood of Yamuna being there, and the trees being there, and the Upavan's gardens being there, Krishna going with his cows, 900,000 cows. That's only Nanda Maharaj's cows. Other Gopas have different number of cows. In fact, it's also said Krishna's, like when we went to Kadam, we saw there were 8 main colored cows. And in all those 8 main colored cows, like brown and green and white and black and yellow, and other, they would have more cows in their groups. And when these cows and the buffaloes, they move behind Krishna and Balram and all the cowherd boys, they come back in the evening at the Godhuli Vela time. And it would look like an ocean, but sometimes it is a white cows and the black buffaloes when they come, it looks like Ganga and Yamuna flowing behind Krishna and Balram and cowherd boys. Or when different color cows would come behind him, 900,000 cows. That's only Krishna's. And other cowherd boys would have so many more cows. What kind of scene that must be? One amazing scene. And that is what Krishna would do every day, whole day. Just take the cows for grazing. And cows, in the morning, cows would go in front of Krishna to the forest. And with their feet, they would crush the stones or rocks on their way. Of course, the rocks themselves would melt, and because seeing cows are coming and Krishna is coming with his cowherd boys, and Krishna would not wear any shoes while taking the cows out for grazing. So cows would try to crush the stones into powder. So Krishna, when he is coming, he should not get hurt by these rocks. And even in fact, the rocks would also become so soft that Krishna, when he would step on them, they would feel like he's stepping on some soft butter. And then Krishna would leave his footmarks on those rocks and in the sand and in the soil, and he would go further. And the cows and the cowherd boys, they would make sure they won't walk on those footmarks of Krishna. So the out of respect and out of love for Krishna, so so the footmarks would still be there. Of course, we don't have the proper eyes to see those lotus feet marks of Krishna, but they are still there because it is said that from Krishna's time to Kali Yuga, only three things that were original, they are still there. One is Yamuna, one is Yamunaji, and the dust of Braj and Girirajji. They are still there, original. Of course, with when the time passes into 10,000 years, and end of 10,000 years of Mahaprabhu's benediction, then they all will disappear. But till then, they are there for us to go and serve and roll in the dust of Braj, take the parikrama of Girirajji, take bath in Yamuna, if we still have real Yamuna water, until the government releases the real Yamuna water. But we can do all this, and we can really enjoy. We can go there, and we can take darshan of so many places of pastimes of Krishna, and get benefited, get purified, and remember Krishna. Just like Uddhavji is remembering all these places, he is speaking to Vidurji. We can also remember Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one question on were there any pastimes, the creation of this, the world, uh, was there any pastimes which which requires it for God to create this world, and then Brahmaji came out from the navel from the Vishnuji, and then uh, this world is created, and this, people are suffering in the world, and then whosoever are uplifted in spiritual practices, they get liberation from this. All these things.
Pastime of creation of this world that we are
Yeah,
studying in
pastime in
Bhagavatam.
the sense, was there any origin of? I mean, definitely there was something which actually brings this thing in mind to create this entire world, this universe, and like you mentioned, right? The people who are in this, who are in spiritual world, for some reason they're coming back to this world, and then again, they're taking birth and death and all, and once they are uplifted, they are more spiritual. They get go back to the Godhead.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
so
those creation of the world is done by Brahmaji. We have discussed some of it, and
yeah,
we'll
no, but
discuss more in third canto later on.
no, but was there any story behind that? What was the reason? Because I mean, in just layman terms, it's all okay, right? Not creating the whole thing, the entire scene, not even required for Brahmaji to create this, the creation which he has done, because everything was fine on one side.
Yeah, but for us, the souls which have fallen from the spiritual world, this world is created for to give us a chance to get rectified and go back. I mean, the city is perfect, but government still creates a prison house because then he knows some people are going to break the law.
Okay.
So similarly, the material world is like a prison house for conditioned souls like us because we have broken the laws of the Lord. So we get rectified, and that's why Krishna comes, performs his pastimes. He leaves his dham here. His dham also comes, so we can go there and take advantage and get rectified. Is it okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Any other question or comment? So I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai
Hare
Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank